Hi guys and welcome to this video. In this video I want to show you the best Google Ads structure for your furniture store and brand this year. And this is exactly the structure that we use at Scale It Agency to do the same thing for our furniture clients. So I just want to share with you the best approach when you want to do PPC campaigns for your store, okay? Because again, there is a lot of misconceptions, a lot of structures you can follow, but most of the times you may not are happy with the results you have right now. Maybe you're not achieving the ROAS that you want to do it. And today I want to take that out of the equation. I want to show you exactly how we think about it, exactly what we do in order to have the best returns possible on Google Ads for furniture brands, okay? So let's jump right straight to the computer. And first, before we start and before I show you our structure and how we think, a couple of things to have in consideration, okay? So the first thing is different price point items on the store, okay? So it's really important, especially for furniture stores, and you know better than me, right? There is different price point on your store, right? You have most expensive products, you can have middle tier, you can have low low cheap products as well, and you can do like a blend campaigns with like all the products in a category, for example. But you need to have that in consideration, which is Google may be pushing for expensive items instead of pushing for maybe a little bit more cheapest products that can actually sell a little bit more in volume. So that's the first thing you need to have in consideration, which is, should we split them? Should we just push for one part of the store? If you are not getting the results that you want, maybe Google is pushing for products that or are super cheap and the order value is really low, or is pushing for really expensive items and your daily budget doesn't reach that point, okay? So that's the first thing we need to double check. The second thing is that you need to have in consideration daily budget versus average product price. Again, a little bit as the point number one, which is if your daily budget needs to consider the average product price. So if you sell sofas, for example, and the average price point is like $1,000, $2,000, and your budget is $50 a day, that will take some time to just reach the product price, just the break-even product price, right? So we have some clients that, after the second day they want sales and they don't see sales, but you need to have that in consideration, which is if you just want to put $5 a day on Google Ads to sell something that costs $1,000, you need a lot of days just to have enough data to make a judgment call, right? Just to see if it works or not. So you need to have in consideration, if you want to sell high expensive products or your average product price is expensive or have like a certain amount, you should put at least that as a daily budget, okay? So if you normally sell it like $100 for your furniture store, like average on the products, you should have at least like $100 daily, okay? But again, it's not mandatory, because then what you need to do is just narrow down the products you want to sell for the budget you have. But that's something that we see a lot of people don't have in consideration. They just put like a super small budget and then they want to sell really high expensive items, okay? The third thing is ROAS versus amount of item purchase. So we see a lot of people, and this will be related to the structure we create, but we sometimes talk with clients and they say, hey, this product is our best performing product because it has 6 ROAS, right? And then when we go check it, you only got like 2 purchases, but has this super expensive 1 or 2 purchases, the ROAS skyrockets, right? But you have to have that in consideration. 1 sale or 2 sales is not enough data to tell you that that's the best seller. Maybe you got luck, maybe there was a person on a specific season of time of the month that bought that and maybe doesn't bought on the other following months. So you need to have that in consideration, which is ROAS you also need to be looking and comparing with the quantity that you sell. Because sometimes maybe you have a product with 2 ROAS, but it sells 50, and you have one with like 10 ROAS, but just sold one on the last 90 days. The other one, it should be the one that you are focusing on because it has volume, it has demand, right? So that's the point that you also need to have in consideration. The fourth one is competitor price analysis. Of course, you need to always compare, especially when you do Google Shopping, that I'll speak in a second. You always need to compare the other brands, right? Because if you have a sofa that is really similar to another client, you need to have that in consideration, right? So you need to have that in consideration that if they are always cheaper than you, maybe people are just checking your product, checking their product, they compare and they buy the other one. Okay, so don't forget that customers are way more smart now than they used to be, right? So they do their research, they get a lot of ads as well on social media and so on. So you need to have that in consideration, that when you are bidding for a keyword like a sofa, living room sofa, or whatever it is, right, you'll be competing with others. So if you're always the most expensive one for the same type of product, that's something you need to be in consideration. Okay, the 5th one is the brand name. Okay, so we'll talk in a second as well about brand campaigns, but that's something you need to have in consideration, which is your brand unique, or it has like a name that is common to everyone? Why? Because your name can also appear on keywords like that are a little bit broader that other competitors maybe bid on, and if you don't protect that, you are basically warming up people. Then they search for your name brand, and as it's broad, the other competitors can appear above you, and they will take and they will steal that customer that maybe already saw you 2 times on the website, then search for your name, and then they go to the competition. Okay, so you need to also have analyzed that. Is that your brand name broad or narrow, that you don't need as much as protection as a broad name, right? And the last one but not least, of course, shipping and delivery time, especially on the furniture world. That is really important. You need to have a comparison. What are the products that take the most time? Are you getting out of stock a lot? That's really important as well, because maybe you have a bestseller and it goes out of stock and you don't know why the ROAS went down. Well, you got out of stock one of the bestsellers, right? So that's something you can control even with Merchant Center and analyze even inside Google Ads. You can actually break down by product, so that's not a problem to just have that in consideration. Okay, so let's go down, guys, to the structure that we recommend to use for furniture stores. Okay, so this is a super simple, I'll say, laydown map that normally we implement. Okay, just for you to have an idea and to understand clearly what we do for a type of store like this. Okay, so the first phase that we always like to put on is 3 campaigns that we think are the top ones for us to get started. Again, you're probably already doing Google Ads. That's okay. You can just try to slowly switch for this structure, or just test around a little bit to keep the ones that are pushing sales. But we always like to do this structure here, which is, the first one is of course a brand campaign right from the bat, guys. As I explained above, we like to protect your brand name. So if you already had the time to warm up a little bit people, like imagine social media or videos, whatever it is, right? If people search for your brand name, it should be the top one. Even if you say, but organically I'm the first one. Okay, but there is still a really big pack of sponsor ads, right? And shopping ads and so on. So there's a lot of space above you before it goes to organic, and you need to protect that, because technically competitors are stealing from you from stuff that you already have the effort to educate people on your brand, right? So you always stay on a brand campaign, right? Just, super specific name, like exact and phrase match, like your name plus price, your name plus reviews, the website, and so on. So that's the first thing we do, super specific keywords that target your brand name, and we do it by target impression share. So always on the top, we will always be on the top of the search on this campaign. So again, even if you start small, like $5 a day, you should have a brand campaign. Okay. The second one that we do is a PMax bestseller. So PMaxes are a little bit more dynamic campaigns. If you don't know what they are, just look for it on YouTube. But PMax, basically, they are on all placements of Google, right? They do search, they are on video as well, email, demand gen, and so on. So they go a little bit broader on the campaigns, but majority of the focus normally it's on search, what we want, but it just gives you a little bit more visibility, okay? And also shopping as well, okay? So the PMax, what we do is basically these guys. We go to Merchant Center. If you don't have a Google Ads feed, so if you don't push your products feed to Google, please go search for it. It's massively important. If you use something like Shopify, it's just a click, you install an app, and basically what happens is that you are pushing your products automatically from your store backend to Google. Okay, so every time there is a product out of stock, it disappears from Google, and you can do so many things with Google Merchant Center. Okay, you can tag products and so on, and that's what we do on this campaign here. So basically, what we do is that we go to the back end, we see the top 10 to 20 best sellers of your store. We tag them as bestseller, like we just put a tag on Google Merchant Center, the bestseller, right? And then we create this PMax with that tag. So you just basically targeting these top 10 and 20, and we just run it for your location, UK, US, wherever it is, right? And this is the highest budget. Why? Because data, historical data tell us that these are the top 10, okay? If this one doesn't sell, something is wrong, okay? So that's one of the things we do. Even if you say to us, well, but the story is a little bit new, we don't have a lot of information. Guys, I know that you know what are the top sellers are, or at least you know what are the people click the most, even at a last case scenario if you don't have a lot of data. So that's something we try to do, right? Because right from the bat, if you don't have a lot of data, you need to start with the ones that at least you know have more chances to convert. Top number one, because then you can take other stuff that I will not be talking here, like conversion rate of the website, if it's your add to cart correct or not. So if you know at least these are the best, you can just exclude that from why it's not working. Okay, so that's the one that we put the most budget on it. And then to finish, we open a shopping. So this is a Google shopping, so shopping only, not search, not demand, not PMax, not dynamic. Is a Google shopping search. Catch all. What means that by that is that we just put all the products in this one. So it's a total feed minus the top sellers. So we remove the top sellers from this campaign here. And basically what this campaign is doing is just showcasing all the products you have on the store. Okay. To start, we are not caring too much on be specific, filter. We just want them to show all the products you have. Why? Because this campaign, again, is what we call catch all, is the one that will tell us more data in the long run. So maybe a product that is a winner and we never thought about it, or you didn't saw it yet. Some products have a really good click rate, like people like to click a lot. So this is the campaign that show us data from all of the other products that we don't know too much about it. Okay, this should be probably at starts should be the lowest ROAS campaign. Why? Because you have the best sellers here, you have the brand campaign, which is your name, so it's warmer people. So this should be the one that is what we call the testing campaign. But you should have this one, because most of the times we find winner products here that even our client never think about it. Oh, I didn't know that product will sell so well, right? Maybe a new product that the client puts there, it goes here, okay? And we run this stuff until we have a decent budget, okay, guys? You need to run this structure here is enough on Google to scale, okay? Because you can put more budget, especially like for Insta Store is like you probably have a lot of volume in products. So this is more than enough. Like Google will have a lot to do, and it gathers a lot of data from this side, okay? So this is phase number one. Only these 3 campaigns is enough to scale, to start making really good ROAS and start making decisions and just improving like your website, your add to cart, anything you need to actually improve on the other side, which is the user experience, you can do on phase 1, okay? Phase 2, scaling. So now that you are starting to be more consistent, and of course the tracking is correct, that's something that we do also on scaling, which is we also have a third-party tracking software that tracks almost 100% of the sales on Go, which is way better, gets way better data, but that's a conversation for another video. But the tracking needs to be on point, and when you're starting to be consistent, so every single month you put X amount, you take X amount, Y amount at the end, the ROAS is normally consistent, there's no so much fluctuation about it, then you start to do scaling. We like to do 20% scaling at a time. It doesn't have to be like just 20% in weight. It can be weekly, but we like to do that way, not just like doubling right away. It can just mess up and it goes to learning phase again. But on the scaling part, what we like to do, and something maybe you are already on this position here, is that maintaining these ones, what we're now starting to do is to be more specific. So we open a search based intent, so just search keywords, right? Not Google Shopping, nothing at all. Just by category of features. So, imagine like sofa category, you have, I don't know, ceiling lamps, whatever it is, right? We start doing by category to find the best ones. And it can also be by features like living room, just products from living room, whatever we can do for having a specific ad group on it, we just do it. Okay, so and these are just search high intent keywords. So just keywords we know they sell. Okay, so just don't put here like broad stuff. No, this is specific, like living room sofa, like I mean, like buying a lampshade, like is specific keyword that we know that people that are searching for it, they want to buy. Okay, so we do that as a second phase. We also start doing PMaxes by categories, a little bit pretty similar to this one. We start testing categories one by one, or we also do mid and low tier, so we can actually divide by price point. So instead of having a bestseller, then we can just change this one to high ticket pricing products, mid and low, or mid and low. So depending on the budget, of course, the more you have, the more budget you have to do, right? But then is when we slowly start to finding specific categories for the products we want to sell, right? And then of course, after we do this point 1 and point 2, what we always recommend, guys, is that start doing retargeting. So your customer list is really, really important. So if you have a customer list, you can export it as well, like people that purchase from you, add to cart, web visitors, and like with platform like Shopify, is really simple to do. So we just start doing that. So we start, retargeting, can be on demand gen, on YouTube, on search. We just start using your customer lists as well. So we put it as intent signals, like people that purchased from the last 90 days. So just to give Google more data that they can learn from. So that's where we start doing, like, now we have a really good volume, just start feeding Google with the top best customers that you have, trying to retargeting as well. So that's where we actually start, to put fuel on the fire, right? So this is the point number 3. And the last one is just go on brand awareness, because a lot of people don't know these guys, but you reach a point on scaling that just converting cold people, it's really hard. Like, you need to go really, really broad. Imagine that you are spending like 10K a day, right? That's a lot, right? So what you need to do as well is that you need to feed the brand campaign, the shopping, and the retargeting as well. So what you need to do is more brand awareness, and knowing that people may not buy right on the top of the funnel, but you are feeding the top of the funnel with a lot of people to know your brand, that then it will improve your organic, it will improve your social as well. So this is more like as a top level. When you are scaling, you need to start doing this, okay? You need to do demand gen, you need to do YouTube raw top of the funnel, even email as well, but anything that is not directly just conversions, right? So you know that you may be spending money that is not necessarily to have like a great ROAS, but it's just a massive reach of people. And that's kind of the phase what we scale. And then, as I said, the more categories you have, the more products you have, the more in depth you can go, right? More categories, split more by ad groups. So then it's just a question of splitting, having budget, finding stuff, finding demographics, bid adjustments as well, finding the location that sell the most and just put a campaign on that location. For example, like Miami sells a lot, just have a campaign for Miami, right? So then you start just going down and down and further. But to start and to scale, to be really consistent on your fundamental, this phase 1 is super important, okay? So that's what we do, guys, for furniture stores. And just to finish this video, some high-level actions that we do for our clients, and you can do it as well. Bid adjustments is really important, guys. Then when you have data is when you go like a hawk, right? Like a sniper. So if you see that, for example, we see clients that they sell a lot on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and they don't sell a lot on Sundays and Saturdays, we do a bid adjustment, which means we tell Google to bid more on those 3 days and then bid less on Saturday and Sunday. And then we maximize the daily budget we have to have the best return possible, okay? And this can be by time, this can be by gender as well, it can be by device. If you just sell mobile, you should push more for mobile as well. Then we, of course, as I said, we have location budget. So if you see a specific location that sells a lot, just have a specific campaign for that, and just push as many budget as possible. Then merchant feed optimization, a lot of people don't talk about it, but we actually optimize the feed, which means checking all the titles of your products, checking descriptions, checking tags, the even the numbers, the serial numbers of the products, the variants of the products, the images of the products, which is really important. So that's something that a lot of people don't do. They just connect Shopify or whatever platform you have of e-commerce with Merchant and Google Feed, and that's it. But you can do so much things on feed optimization, like be the best. Don't imagine that when you're doing Google Shopping, your product will appear among all the other ones, right? So you need to be really, really careful on your title, prices, images. You need to be the best to convert the best, right? Because it's a bid war, right? So that's really important as well. Again, customer match lists, starting downloading or automatically pushing to Google like your past customers, past people from your email list, for example, and so on, right? Giveaways that you maybe did, you have like an email list, put it there. Like you can use those lists to optimize Google. Search term scouting, that's another thing we do a lot, which is you need regularly, at least once a week, that's what we recommend, check the search terms of your campaign. Like what are people actually click on it? Because a lot of times you find search terms that people are clicking on it, but they are nothing to do with your brand or what you sell. And you are just spending money on wasted keywords. So you need to always be checking what are you paying for, what are people searching for, and always negative those keywords. If there is a keyword that nothing to do with you and you spend like $100 there, just cut it off. Like you can negative that keyword. So that's something that we do every single week. Okay, guys. And then of course, again, with phase 2, be specific on ad copy per ad group. So be specific, guys. If there is an ad group for like a specific sofa, the ad copy should be like that. And you can use Claude. I will show you in a second. You can use Claude for all of that, or even ChatGPT. Now with AI, it's way simpler, guys, to create ad variants, create copies, angles, pain points. So it's not an excuse to not be specific. And especially with retargeting, guys, you should be specific. Like if someone add to cart, tell them like your cart is awaiting. If someone visit like a specific page, do a copy for them. Like I saw that you saw the page, and people will be like, how you know it? Well, it's specific copy and converts way better than generic ones. Okay, guys. And as I said, one thing you can do is just use Claude, right, to do this. Okay, you can ask for ad copies and whatever, right? And let me just show you really quickly, guys. I have the final version here. Luis and I have a prompt. If you want, just click down below. It's free, and this prompt here, basically, okay, you just put a new URL of your store, and he will give you exactly this report of with everything that I was talking about. So if I put like this, he probably asked me some questions, but our goal is everything I talk on this video is on this prompt. Our structure, how we think about it, and so on. So I'll give it to you for free down below, guys. Just give a like if you like the video, but it will be free down below this video. Click on the link, and you just need to put your URL, and it will give you like what is the structure, what should you do, what are the angles, and it will give you even ad copy and how to create every single campaign, like how to create brand, how to create the PMax bestsellers, and so on. So it's really, really cool. Just click down below. I'll wait a little bit while he's waiting, but I just want to show you here as well, guys, one example of what it is. So this is one of our clients. This was last month. Today is 21 July, but last month, you can see here, I'll push me on the side, they did 5 ROAS. And you can see here on the left side, guys, we are still on the beginning, like we just starting to do phase 2. So they have the catch all, this is actually a PMax, but it's a Google Shopping, is the same. We just changed a little bit, but brand, bestsellers, all products, and now we are doing by category. And the last month they got 5 ROAS. Okay, guys, and as you can see, we don't need 20 campaigns, 30 campaigns. These guys are scaling hard, right? They are making 100K or more a month right now. It's a Shopify brand, and pretty simple, but the structure is in line. The structure is correct. Okay, guys, I just want to show you this too, so you can see that it's easier to manage, it's easier for you to see, and it's a correct approach as well. And you can see here that it's getting really, really good results. We are really happy with this. And yeah, now we are just scaling with being specific on categories. Okay. So let me see if this ends as well, if it creates the entire thing. But as I said, guys, down below will be this prompt, so you can just copy and paste even on ChatGPT if you want, or any other one. Okay, and as I said, guys, if you don't want to do this by yourself, we at Scale It, we do this for furniture brands. So if you are interested as well, down below will be a link that you can talk directly with me, okay guys, and we'll share some ideas about your company as well. We also do a free audit, so if you want just a specific custom-made free audit for your brand, you'll always be down below. You can just talk with us, we'll do the audit. And then of course, if you want us to implement exactly what I said here, have these same type of results like 5 rows, 4 rows, and just growing steadily, just click down below. It will also be the link for that as well. Okay, so let's just wait a little bit and see if this creates. Okay guys, so you can see here it's already done. Okay, so as you can see here, this is what we will get on with this prompt, is that the full building plan for your Google Ads, exactly what we talk here. And you can see guys, it gives everything. Like it gives you the keyword for each campaign, like brand campaign, PMax, why brand defense, what you should do, characters, everything, like PMax bestsellers, which ones are. You can even tell them what are the best sellers. Of course, here he's thinking about it because of the price and so on. But as you can see guys, it gives you everything. You just need to copy. You can even put on your Claude and even tell them like, now please make a spreadsheet that I can import to Google. But you just have to follow these and have everything for you, like the search intent, what should you do, what ad group should you do. So everything is laid down for you guys. We take a lot of time and effort to make this prompt, so I hope you enjoy it guys. And as I said, just click down below, it will be free. And if you want to talk with us, we can implement this for you and start getting results right away. Just click on the link below. We can have a quick chat directly with me and have an audit on your own account. Thank you so much for watching this video.